live.
Good morning, and thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Coffee with the Librarian. Happy February! Woo! Yes, we have a lively bunch here. So, I'm going to tell you guys about some of the programs that we have coming up at the headquarters branch. And always go to claytonpl.org, click on calendar, and you see what's going on at the other branches as well. So, I'm really excited because last year, we received a grant here at Clayton County Library System to teach film. And we had a wonderful, wonderful outcome with that. We did 2 sessions. Each session was 8 weeks. So our students edited their films, and now they're complete. They're 2-minute films, and we're having a film premiere. Woo! And that film premiere will be on February 22nd at 6:30. So I'm sorry, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Don't
be late. Don't be late. 2-minute films, you'll miss it.
I was already about to be late. So it starts at 6 o'clock, and we're gonna have a red carpet. It's gonna be like a big deal. Okay. So I hope you guys come out and see what we have to offer. Our students worked really hard. Yes, we'll be here at the headquarters branch. Our students worked really hard and diligent on these, and they created them from start to finish. All me and Andre said was, "That's not a good shot." That was it. That's all we said. So also, we'll be having speed dating on the 14th of February. So for all of those people who are like, "I don't want to date," come speed date with us. Okay, we're going to have a great time. We're going to have some refreshments, and it's going to be a great group of people coming out. So come out and have a speed date, or 10. We got a nice little crowd. You still have up until the 7th, so you have 2 more days to register for that. 2 more days. You just call the headquarters library and say, "I would like to register for the speed dating," and it's for adults. So I don't want any teenagers coming. It's like, "I'm here for that." No, adults only. This is an adult only program. Okay. Yes. Yes, I can. I am the fabulous Kimberly Jones, and I'm the library assistant here, a library assistant senior. I keep leaving that senior off to me. I'm the senior here at the headquarters library. Woo! Thank you. All right, so I'm done cutting up. I'm going to take this over to our amazing Director Scott Parham.
We have a lively group this morning. We'll get a little closer to the microphone. That raucous roar of applause. Thank you so much. We're going to have to get a bigger studio here. We're getting a lot more community members coming in, and it's a wonderful thing. So once again, my name is Scott Parham. I am the director for the Clayton County Library System. And this is another episode of Coffee with the Librarian. And how we usually start the episode is that we have folks in the community who have submitted questions online. And I'll take a few minutes to respond to those questions, give you a brief update about some of the things that are happening here with the library system. And then, as has been the case in the last several episodes, we have an amazing person today that we are going to bring up and have a very nice conversation with and get a chance to ask them some very good questions. He will have an opportunity to share some information about what he does for Clayton County, and also leave some time for some questions at the end. So we're very excited about that as well. So Kim, what kind of questions we have this month?
Well, this month, they are not coming in hot. So
that's okay.
They're going to be easy.
It's okay.
All right. By the way,
yes.
Happy Black History Month.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Our first question is, are there classes to help nonprofit organizations?
Not at the moment. Discussed it in the leadership team meetings, and it's something we're looking at to just see how we can offer that the best resource that we can approach to offer those classes. So once we have those lined up, please stay tuned and check out the website for that. But that's it's a need, I think, that has been echoed in the county for a little bit. We've heard it more than once. So I think it's something we need to go ahead and look at.
That is very true. Can patients receive weekly emails to notify them of upcoming programs?
Good question. As you know, with data or with information, the data that you extract is only as good as the data that goes into the system. And so if we do have your email address on file through our Pine system, it should be a very easy process in order to extract that to provide updates. We have transitioned to a new platform that will allow us to do reserving meeting rooms, conference rooms, events of that nature, registering for events. It will make it a lot easier and much more streamlined. And so it should be an easy process to then, once we have your email address, to be able to send those notifications out. So yes, absolutely.
Is there an indie author application available on ClaytonPL.org? I really think what they're talking about is the application to have their work submitted into our collection.
Yeah, and that is part of the collection development policy that is online. There is a process that local authors or authors that want to have their items put within our circulation or our circulating collection. And so the steps as well as the application are found under that policy. As it relates to Indie Author Day specifically, we did not have an event last year, but again, it's February, and again, the leadership team is talking about plans for the remainder of this year. And usually Indie Author Day happens in October or November. And so we are looking at how and if we can pull that out this year.
Awesome. When will the library announce a summer reading lineup?
Good question. We are finalizing our summer reading performers. So I expect the finalized lineup to be completed at the end of this month, the 1st of March.
Very good. How may I gain more information about the Senior Services Department in Mayfest? I think that person tuned into last month.
I was about to say, they probably listened to our last episode with Director Tori Strotter Tanks and Melissa. And so if you go to claytonseniors.com, that website can direct you to the senior services where you can get more information about senior services.
The last question. Will you have a scholarship class for seniors in high school?
We do have a class that goes on every other Saturday here at Headquarters Library. It's called the SAT Saturday program. And it's here from, I believe, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And you can use BrainFuse and you can look for scholarships. You can do FAFSA, the application for federal aid, and all of that is on Saturdays here at Headquarters.
And in addition to that, we do have the physical manuals that list scholarships on hand. And there are 2 online resources where you could also gain information about scholarships. One is scholarships360.org, and the other one is scholarships.com. I would just personal tidbit, if you are looking to apply for scholarships now, as a senior, you may be a little behind the 8 ball. As you know, fall semester will start very shortly, and applications, if they haven't already closed out, it will be closing out very soon. And so I encourage you, as you are matriculating through high school, your junior year, really start honing in on the scholarships that are out there, hone in on some of the schools that you would like to apply to, and get all of that information done well ahead of time.
I would also like to say that we did host a FAFSA event this past Saturday, where we provided a great deal of information, and we are looking to do that again in the near future. So please stay tuned with the date and time. So just call or check in on our website to see if we have that available.
Very nice. Very good information. Thank you. So one of the other things that I would just like to briefly mention that you may find new and exciting when you come into one of the branches. Through the GPLS, or the Georgia State Library, they were able to provide all of the library branches throughout the state with self-serve kiosks. And the self-serve kiosks are intended for or from the Department of Human Services. So if there are folks out there needing to recertify their Medicaid or Medicare or reapply for their staff ed benefits, you will now be able to go into a library branch, Clayton County Library Branch, and utilize one of the kiosks there, self-serve kiosks, to reapply for those benefits. So we are very excited about those. We got them in shortly, a little while ago, and so we're in the process of getting into all the branches and locating a position in there so that they're seen as you come in. They won't be hidden in the back corner. And we will be getting trained and then directing our community members to those kiosks. So we're very excited about those. Any other questions before we dive into our guests this morning? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Linda Jones, and I'm very active in the
Mhm.
community. Not only with education, I mean, in and out of the library all the time.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things I was wondering about, if you all have considered allowing nonprofit, well, non-503C, non-503C organizations to use the facilities to have meetings. At this point, I understand that you have to apply 2 weeks in advance and wait to decide if, in fact, it can be done. And I have been in libraries many times, and they're just vacant, they're just open, and nobody's there using them. So I'm wondering if you have considered allowing that to change, so that if the rooms are available, people will be able to use it. In DeKalb County, they do that.
Thank you for your question. Let me see when it was. To answer your question directly, anyone that has a valid Clayton County library card and is over the age of 21 can reserve a meeting. We did away with the 501c3 designation last year. So the new meeting room guidelines and policies, you do not any longer have to have that designation. So as long as you have a valid Clayton County card, come on.
I mean, but do you still have to wait 2 weeks? That's the thing.
That's only that we allow as many guests in the community an opportunity to have access to the rooms and to the facilities. So as you're either in the branches or calling them, just ask to see if the room is available. It shouldn't be an issue. Okay, sounds good. Any other, yes, ma'am? Oh, we'll get the microphone to you in just a second.
If a meeting takes place and it's a public service meeting, is live streaming available? And what other equipment can be used to utilize for a meeting?
Okay. Well, the first part of the question, I would say if you're going to live stream it, you would have to live stream it on whatever platform you have. Okay. The live stream that we are utilizing is our YouTube page, so it would have to be your own platform. We can provide the equipment, the microphones, however, but you would still need camera equipment to film and possibly your own staff to do the film. We are very fortunate that we have staff who have been trained, and through grant opportunities and other opportunities, we have been able to purchase equipment for marketing and for uses such as this. But if an outside agency wanted to come in to utilize our room or our meeting spaces, we would not have all of the equipment necessary to perform the live stream and things of that nature. We do have projectors, we do have laptops, we do have the cable, but we don't have at this time the cameras or the platform to make that happen. I'm just monitoring on my phone for this time. Any other questions? Anything come online?
No questions yet.
Fantastic.
All
Well,
right.
At this time, I am so excited to bring up our esteemed guest for today. Mr. Larry Vincent, would you please come on up and join us? Wait till you get settled. Okay. Now, please, if you wouldn't mind, give us the formal introduction, who you are, and your role here with Clayton County.
Okay, my name is Larry Vincent. I'm married to my 6th grade sweetheart. So, just let y'all know I'm just kidding. But I lived in Clayton County for 22 years, and I work as Executive Director for the Authority of Clayton County, the Urban Redevelopment Agency of Clayton County, and the Redevelopment Authority of Clayton County. So Basically, we can do just about anything in the county, but build a home, build a golf course, and of course, build anything dealing with adult entertainment. I don't know how those three things make sense, but that's what it is. And basically, we're a constitutional entity created by state code 36-62-2. And I've enjoyed this role, and special thanks to Library Systems has been a great partner of ours. And I think you got some questions you want to dive right into.
I've got a whole list here that,
Oh, that's good. I like that.
Kim, as she mentioned earlier, has done a ton of homework.
Are y'all good with this microphone?
Yes,
Okay.
everybody can hear.
Good.
We can hear in here. Yes.
So the first one, I'm gonna kick off. What does it mean to be pro-business?
To me, pro-business means being smart. So a lot of people come in here with a project and say, you ought to be thankful Clayton County, I picked you. Well, guess what? We don't need a garbage transfer station in downtown Jonesboro. That's crazy, where garbage trucks come in from outside your community, transfer them to a truck in your community, to dump in your community. We don't need that kind of business. We don't need, I support that business, that's the right place for it. So we've got to be smart about it and recruit the right businesses that fit our plans, and be positive, smart business, pro-business, being positive. Our state is the #1 state to do business in because guess what? They're pro-business, but they are smart about it. And that's what I try to bring to Clayton County. Be smart about it, be positive about it, and always make sure we leave our guests with a positive image of Clayton County.
Piggybacking on that, CNBC rated Georgia as the top state to do business. What is your role in helping to continue that top spot?
Well, for me, that is whenever we have a project working with our state leaders. We have been top of the nation in a number of years running. So when it comes to Clayton County, I want to make sure we do our part. If they send an RFI request for information about the county, let's make sure we turn that around in a timely manner, not to hold up the process. One of the things they ask about is the library system. They ask about the parks and recs. They know the hard numbers. They want to know about the quality of lifestyle things we have. And I can tell them, I can name folks in the library system. I can call Scott when I need them, and I get an answer when I need it. And that's what I need from everyone in the county because we're trying to compete. The business world wants Clayton County, but they don't need Clayton County because our neighbors are just as competitive. That's what we're competing against: image, brand, and our neighbors. So I try to make sure that I'm positive and helpful, and when they leave us, they leave with a very warm feeling that Clayton County is ready to help them succeed.
Georgia Quick Start, as you know, is an incentive program to maintain current industry, as well as attract new businesses. What do these incentives look like, and how do Clayton residents benefit?
Well, Quick Start is the #1 training program in the nation. That's why our state is #1, because we go out and recruit businesses, and through the Quick Start program, they do professional training. For example, if a car plant is coming in, that is all proprietary manufacturing. So Quick Start do the contract, set up the training, so we can train Georgians for those jobs versus importing people from China, Japan, or whatever. We set up a process right here in the county and train our people. Now, what I do to support that, with Quick Start comes the state project managers, the Office of Economic Development, and my office. I make sure we support each one of those entities, get the information they need. If I got to answer a phone or drive somebody around, I do that as well. In that case, it's all hands on deck. Let's see if we can get that customer here. And Quick Start has just been a great asset, and I share with folks all the time. We are very fortunate that Clayton County is a part of the metro ecosystem, and metro ecosystem is part of the state system, and we prosper as our state prosper.
Very nice, very nice. So for Clayton County specifically, in order for businesses to expand, residents need housing, they need quality of life, education, affordable income. So what plans does the Development Authority have to support workers in Clayton County?
Oh, great. Excellent question. Let me share some facts with you. The Department of Statistical Data, Department of Labor, they issued their September 23 quarterly results. Clayton County led the nation in weekly income increase. We were number one out of 361 large county in the large county category.
Say that again.
We were number one.
I don't think people
No, they don't.
realize
No,
that.
they
They don't
don't.
understand that.
And we had this, the increase was there, it was like $321,000 per week. That's over $1,200 a month. That's your rent. That's a car payment. That's taking the kids out to dinner, lunch, whatever, taking yourself. So we are doing all the things in terms of workforce to help our citizens get jobs, but also get training and get a better job. I think about my partnership with the Board of Commissioners, the library system, the Water Authority. I go right on down to the Board of Education. We all work together to afford training to our citizens. Because as a development authority, most of my work is up here with CEOs and corporations. Very seldom do we get down to the grassroots level, but the development authority has been very intentional about getting down to the citizens of this county, because that's where the bread and butter, those are the taxpayers. They provide the funds through county government and state government, so that's money we get back to operate with great programs.
Fantastic. And again, I asked you to repeat that statistic because I think there are many out there who don't realize the good work that's being done here.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And piggybacking on that one, a lot of the community members that come and utilize the library are small business owners. What resources do you have for small business owners in the county?
Well, once again, because of the state statute, we're pretty much we're up here, but we do partner with our chamber. We partner with our school system, but also understanding when you build a large plant, there will be business opportunities. So we try and encourage that company to join the chamber, not only the big company, but the little companies, join that chamber, develop those resources and network, so when there are opportunities to open your business, you can take advantage of it. The library system is a great place to start to do your research. How many times?
The library is a good place.
And I say that in all sincerity, because how many people want to open a restaurant? Because my grandma taught me to cook. But when grandma was teaching you to cook, you didn't need a $25,000 free strap. You didn't need a $15,000 commercial suppression over your commercial oven time. But now today, if you're not ready, you could be facing a $75,000 investment before you even open your door. So I highly recommend, as we talk to small businesses, take advantage of the Small Business Administration, take advantage of Minority Business Administration, take advantage of the chamber. Go do your research, whether in person or online, so you know exactly what the cost is. Because, the dream and reality is usually a few $10,000 gap there. So we want everybody to be successful, be happy with what they're doing. And sometimes, though, that's a difficult conversation to have with someone. Their heart is in the right place, but trying to get the brain and thinking process adjusted is a little difficult at times.
It's an educational process.
Oh, absolutely. And please start with your library, do some research.
I'm going to go back to something that Kim Jones mentioned a while ago about our film premiere coming up the end of this month. At Fort Gillem, it's being turned into a film studio, bringing in new jobs and increasing the film industry potential. Are there other plans that the Development Authority has in place that will help promote the potential for film and TV production?
Well, let me be perfectly honest about that. When I get a hot lead about a film, I call Camera Package of our tourism board, and that team has done an outstanding job at helping recruit Blue Star, bringing in films. You see the little yellow signs with the arrow pointing on them? That's Miss Tamara's and her work that's going on. So what I do, if they need my help financially, we'll look at it on package or whatever. But like the Blue Star movie studio at Gillum, it gets to a point where I bring in experts. You go to the bullpen and bring in your ringer. So that's why I call this package up. I have no problem with calling up and say, please, here it is. What can I do to help? But that's your wheelhouse. Go for it.
The experts do what the experts
That's
do.
right. Yes, sir.
Got it. Clayton County is famous for its farmers market. How do we maintain and elevate being a major market and distribution?
Interesting question, because that farmer's market is so exceptional and very few people know about it. At one point in time, 80% of the potatoes in the nation came through that farmer's market, either through transactions or physically potatoes coming through. Okay, I remember when we were recruiting the Kroger's facility at Gillum and another company, they mentioned the farmer's market. Of course, the owner's like, we're not talking about the Saturday farmer's market. I said, we're not either. We're not talking about a bag of tomatoes. We're talking about 10 million tomatoes. You know, how many heads of lettuce you need? Because we've got access to all of Georgia, Alabama, Florida. We can do it all out there. That facility is owned by the state of Georgia. It falls up under the Secretary of Agriculture. We, as a development authority, we have to work with other state departments to put state offices in Clayton County, like the Department of Labor, the Department of Health Rehab, and the Department of Natural Resources. So when if they want our help, we could go in there and support them. But the big challenge there, that place is so busy providing groceries for the nation. I mean, how do you shut it down to build something better when there's so much, the need is there? And they are busy and doing well. I was out there last week showing it off to a prospect and shared that story and said, you know, no, it's not about a bag of tomatoes. So this is the retail side. Let me take you to the wholesale side. This is where the rest of the tomatoes are at.
Got it.
So,
So they see a small fraction.
yeah. It's like you think, you say farmer's market, of course, your mind go to Lee Street Park on the weekend. That's not the case.
Very nice, very nice. So I'm gonna move to a couple of bigger topics. Well, it's like bigger implications for Clayton County. First one I'd like to talk about is the airport.
Yes.
Internationally famous, provides more than 60,000 jobs. How will we maintain and or expand the partnership that we have with the airport so that our residents benefit?
That's an easy one. I love our airport. B, who the general manager out there, he's all about solutions. Don't bring me issues, bring me solutions. So understand the airport is so vital to Clayton County. When the pandemic hit, the airport shut down, Clayton County shut down. There's about 60,000 jobs inside the fence, another 120 around the fence. And I've always had a great working relationship with the airport. We'll continue doing that going forward because they do own property outside the fence and we want to work with them to get developed. So I think it's the right thing to do. That is the number one economic engine in the Southeast. Everybody benefits from that airport, from our state, regional government, state government, you know, and Clayton County, Henry County, Fayette County, all the metro benefit from the airport. So to me, it's like a no-brainer. They got my full support. Even when we don't get along, we get along. Yes, sir.
Okay. Southern Regional Medical Center. It is the third largest employer for Clayton County. Are there plans that the development authority has in place to expand health services and or health logistics?
There are plans to expand it. That will be done through the hospital. Okay, they're looking at an overlay up there, a med tech overlay for that Upper Riverdale Road area around the hospital. Our hospital is now, they're in the black and no longer in the red. They now got that #1 rating, the same as Piedmont and Emory and the rest of them. So the new leadership there have done their job. And we now have a top-rated hospital up there. And of course, that doesn't make the news. Okay, but I can share that with you. But yes, we are looking at that, and that's been led by the city of Riverdale because some of it's inside the city limits.
Okay.
Then we got the hospital itself. once again, I know what's my sweet spot and what it's not. So we let the experts set it up, and when they're ready, we can come in and see where we can help them with bond financing and anything like that.
For my commuters, what would a MARTA expansion look like? And how do you persuade communities to be proponents of that expansion?
Well, the more, what will it look like? If we're in the midst of that now, it's called BRT, Bus Rapid Transit. So we had to make, MARTA and the county had to come to a decision to shift. Because when we signed up for MARTA, we signed up for heavy rail. The heavy rail costs $10 million plus a mile. But that's okay, $10 million plus per mile. And you have no right of way to put it on. Because the train track is now overloaded with all the freight coming out of Savannah, Brunswick, which is now growing it's probably the top 5 in ports. So there will be no end to the load on those tracks. So that is is ongoing now. They should be moving towards some engineering, some drawings that show where the stations are going to go. And of course, around each station, you do your transit-oriented development. You hear about TOD. So you're looking at some infill type development from MARTA around those stations. So it's underway. MARTA is another one of those great partners we've worked with. Just working with them to get some bus transportation to Gillum. It was approximately a mile from the center of Gillum to the bus stop. That's how big that place is. We actually got buses we ride along Phoenix Boulevard to get folks to the Department of Labor so they can do their unemployment and things like that. But as we work with projects up and down 54, our MARTA teammates were very helpful in getting bus stops put in the right place, tweaking some of the schedule to have a MARTA bus there when the plants are changing shift, making sure they stop at further university, Clayton State University. So it's one of those almost like no-brainer things like the airport. We've got to have this. I think we're on the right path. We know that the heavy rail is not going to work. We can't afford it. But this bus rapid transit concept works very, very well. That's where the rest of the nation is going anyway, because of the cost to go heavy rail. So I'm all for it. We're very good going north to south. The BRT can help us go a little east to west more, and all that's going to do is connect us, connect our communities. If you think about getting downtown, I mean, it's just tens of thousands of job opportunities there where you may have to spend an extra 20 minutes on the train to get there. So it's important that we connect our citizens to all the opportunities that are out there.
Well, in wrapping up, are there any programs or events coming up that you would like to share with the community? Maybe we'll wrap things up.
Oh yeah, we got a few. You probably heard about the Terra Boulevard LCI work, and that's where we're going to start at 1941 and 75 Rolling Bluff, Georgia. That is some work that's being helped sponsored by our Board of Commissioners through the ARC. And it's going to clean up, well, it's going to recommend some steps to be taken to make Terra Boulevard more attractive. Also, we got things like that, but also we're looking at what's going on up in Mountain View, let's get that going. Just continue with the whole workforce piece of business, making sure we keep that unemployment down. Right now, it's down to 3.7. The state is 2.9, so we're getting closer and closer. We've got to do that. We got to make workforce top of mind every day, because if not, we can get caught with another black swan event like a pandemic and get your socks knocked off, and you don't know what, we've got to have something in place. So those kind of things, I'm just excited about that. Think about our school board. They're going to spend over $1 billion on 25 facilities. Let that soak in. That's the school board. Now we talk about all this growth, and somewhere you got to build some libraries, right? So that's got absolutely got to get on it. I bring some of this stuff up from time to time, and just Because it's easy, there's so much going on. These commissioners, I tip my hat to them. There's a lot going on. And they have to stay on top of all of it. Then you have elections, so.
And the library doing a small portion of that. If I could just brag for a minute. Last year, we sponsored or hosted 8 job fairs.
That's great.
We brought in over 1,600 participants to those job fairs, and over 600 folks were actually employed as a result of coming to the job fair. Workforce effort in the county, and I thank you for coming, being with us today, spending some time. If someone has some follow-up questions or wanted to contact you after this, is there a website, or how do folks?
Just email me at Larry.Vincent@ClaytonCountyGA.gov. Shoot it to me, and you can answer.
Thank you again for spending some time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Larry. All right.
Let's see if the audience has any
Oh,
questions.
okay.
Does anybody have any questions?
Questions?
Yeah, so how involved are you with the Future Focus Clayton Group?
How involved am I? I was at a meeting, a 3-hour meeting yesterday. Yeah, so I'm involved.
And are they are looking more at trying to bring in a more livable wage? Because there's so much development, housing prices are going up, cars, it's harder to afford a car to try to get around. And then, like you say, you're trying to bring in and help with mass transit so people can get these good paying jobs.
Well, the question is, what is a livable wage? That's a great question. I can ask 20 people, I get 20 different answers. Because depending on your lifestyle and what you need, pretty much what you want, you need more money. And I'm the last of the baby boomers where we learned to do without. My kids are not baby boomers. They're looking for funds and support any way they can get it. Now, when it comes to job recruiting, we have to be very flexible and very diverse because not everybody in Clayton County is qualified for a high-paid job because they don't have a skill set. So that's where workforce comes in. So we got to recruit across the board. We have taxpayers, constituents who have very little skills, so we just can't leave them out. So I go after all that I can and try to educate folks, go get this training. A favorite phrase of mine, and I stole this from another director, say, the ABCs, get a job, get some training, get a better job, go get some specialized training, get a career. Every time you go through each one of those layers, you'll see your income level double, if not triple. The best way to handle the livable wage, I think, is through the market. The more pressure you put on the market, the more demand, the more power you give to the employees. If you got a flush market where you got more people and fewer jobs, then the business has got the power. But right now, it doesn't look right. We got more jobs, we have people, and you're seeing the result of that in this income increase. We did a job fair, and if you started at the door, it was one price. By the time you went down the line and came back, it was $5 more per hour. So the competition works. And the people who offered the best pricing per hour got all the employees. I'm quite sure that all your job fairs the same way. That 600 that got hired, they went to the company that had the best benefits and paid the most money. That's not that complicated, right? And we see that every day.
We have a question over here.
Good morning, how y'all doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Vincent, thank you for being
Sorry,
here.
I have my back to you.
My name is Mike Glen J, and two things. One thing is with the MARTA thing. I was with my father when he was in the House of Representatives, fighting to get MARTA extended out here. Because I remember when the fare box couldn't pay it and the county had to make big decisions, and now we had to extend MARTA, so I'm appreciative of that. With the plan of rail development down the future, I still feel like that light rail development is something that we can look into from a regional perspective, because we want to still be able to not only bring the world to Clayton County, especially with FIFA coming to town, then announcing all the games, but as well as get our constituents and our people in the county out of the county to the best paying jobs. So as a person that wants to be a future legislator, that's one of those things I'm going to push for Clayton County, because I think that's important for our growth in the region. Number two, with the workforce and things like that. One of the things, a component that I feel like would be great for our county too, would be like tapping into our youth workforce in career ready training, as well as partnerships with these industries in and around us in the state of Georgia, geographic specific, so that they're pouring into Clayton County and not worrying about pouring into everyone else, but we're focusing on the immediate impact of some of these young men and women that are falling to crime, gang violence, things that I could have been lost to myself as a young man. But with apprenticeships and training, those things save life. They change the difference. Especially with, like you said, you were the last of the baby boomers. I was the first of Gen X, I think, or Gen Z. I was just thinking about that. I was born 6 months into the 70s, so I got a little bit left. But in the differences of the eras, there is a different need. And so while we talk about, for years, we've been talking about equal, but I think we looking at equity and knowing the resources that we need in Clayton County right now, based on the change of our demographics, our youth, those are things that we need to tap into. And I appreciate y'all for doing all the work y'all doing over at the Development Authority. And I look forward to supporting y'all next year.
So there were 2 questions now. First of all, you well on your way to being a public. That was a great sharing there. And your father, he's one of my favorite people. So thank him for his service to all of us. The first one was about MARTA. Lightweight rail has its place, just like everything else. You got to balance it out. And with the BRT, that decision was made by the county, is moving forward, and we're getting people to those jobs. So it's all about what you're gonna ride in the big Cadillac on the heavy rail, probably the mid-range car. The bus would operate just like a lightweight rail. They'll have their own dedicated lanes. They can cut up 30 to 45 minutes off the trip. So it operates like a lightweight rail. It's just on the concrete versus building something elevated. So that's going to work very well for us. It's something we can have done in a matter of maybe a year and a half to 2 years versus long term with rail, any kind of rail, whether it's lightweight or heavy. That's long term construction, and it costs millions per mile. The other one about the youth programs, we are working with our school system to do just all those things you say we should do. We can just all that back. And Dr. Smith and our school system is just like a library system, and working with Scott over here, I get all the support I need from the top down. And we have training programs at the Perry Learning Center to do just that. We're working with a nonprofit to do some of the recidivism training, getting the young brothers and sisters trained before they get out. ARC got a welding trailer. We're looking at trying to get that connected up at our jail, so they can train to be welders. When they come out, they can go to work, do some real work versus go and put the work in on the street. So a lot of that stuff is in place, but you got to understand, you got to be careful what you say and how you say it, because these folks have a right to their privacy. We just can't go out there and say, look, that one over there was a criminal, but now he's straight, you can't. Got to be careful there. So a lot of things you mentioned, sir, is very underway. We just have to ramp it up more, share more, and be very selective of what we share and how we share.
I'm talking about adding to it. So when we
Absolutely.
bring that support from a legislative perspective to Clayton County, then we'll be the first in the state to be instrumental, putting those things into work. But like I said, I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, sir.
You have another question?
I just want to say that I want to give the library some bragging rights, because I came in here for something else, but I always find something good at the library. But I just have one question. When I moved to here in 2017, and I met those yellow barrels on Boulevard, you mentioned something about Tara Boulevard.
Yes, ma'am.
How long, when is that gonna come, the enclosure gonna come to that? Because it's really a problem on Tara Boulevard.
No doubt about it. And we got to come to terms with the reality, not only Clayton County, but all the counties surrounding Atlanta. When they did these roadways, they're all about getting people in and out of downtown Atlanta. Now, you take care of Boulevard in Clayton County and add you a couple 10,000 folks out there, that's no longer a super highway to get folks out of Atlanta to Henry or to Fayetteville. We now, that's one big, good Lord, enormous subdivision type street now. You got people living there, but yet the culture and the driving is based on this, get out of Atlanta as fast as you can. So with this LCI study, one of the things they will look at, and our county has looked at through the Department of Transportation, traffic calming type of apparatus. They can put in speed bumps, the safety crossing lights where they're flashing and turning red when somebody's in the crosswalk. But along the way, we also got to do some training. We'll get folks to invest all this money, they go use it. Versus I'm gonna come out, go down in the ditch, come out of the ditch, you gotta run across the road. It don't work. So those things are gonna happen now. This LCI study that we're all working on, you'll see some designs on how you can slow that traffic down. We gotta work with DOT on that because of the way the road is designed with that median in there, you know, that drives the speed limit and all that. So that's some formulas there that we gotta work with, and the county will work with them. We just gotta slow the traffic down. And that's all we just do it. And we're probably a year away from the LCI from the engineering part to start. So we've been at it for a year and 2 months. So it's on the way, it'll get there, and once again, once the package is ready, it'll go before the BOC, Board of Commissioners, to vote on it and accept it. So you'll get to see it, you'll get a chance to give your opinion at several of the meetings that are happening around the county, and you get a chance to go before the BOC, and you have a chance to demand they approve it, especially that safety part.
We have one last question.
Good morning, Mr. Vincent. Good morning, everyone. My name is Deja Johnson, and I work under Worksource and Atlanta Regional Commission as a youth program provider. One of my questions to you, Mr. Vincent, is referencing the training to get a better job. What are some high demand industries that can compete with where the economy is currently going? And then on top of that, what are those age ranges that training can provide to, or so that our youth can get stacked in those corporations? Are they looking for those in the 18 range? Because I work with 16 and 24-year-olds, but then at the same time, are they looking for those that are maybe 30 and over? What are some of those high demand industries, and then what are some of those age ranges for those training industries?
Hi, David, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, we work together with some of the other boards now. Yeah, as you know, we got the next gen team that's working on some of those things. Yeah. All the stats tell us, like with that 16 to 24 for black male is crisis. So we have to look at how do you segment that, because if you're under 18, because of insurance and other reasons, the corporations don't touch you. Now, but you're not in school. So that's where working with our school system, ARC, Atlanta Area Tech, how do we get that 16 to 18, let's get them into some kind of a training program, let's work with the school system, how do we catch them before they become a problem or an opportunity? Dr. Smith is all about that, and he's putting a program in place, a student services division, to address that and try to catch our kids before they fall through. Now the industries, they are doing all they can, but that 18 GED, you gotta have it. Now the question is, how do we get some of our legislators to try to impact some of that? How do we relax these standards? Because just like with the library and everybody else, my hands are tied by state statute and state codes in some areas. I can't do nothing about it. But through the ARC, we can work and try to find that soft spot, that sweet spot to get through. And at 18 to 24, 18 to 30, I really don't care about the age. We just need to get these guys and these men and women in some type of program, help get those on their feet, because the challenge we're having at 3.7 unemployment, the people that are left, they're certain they have needs, whether it's childcare, mental health, recidivism, or just whatever. If you get unemployment that low, you gotta put the other items in place to help. We can't turn our back on them because it's cheaper to put them to work than to incarcerate. And we gotta come to terms with that. And unfortunately, that's been the plan. So we'll continue to work with the ARC and other entities like that to make sure we segment it the right way, understand it the right way, and put the right items in place.
Thank you. Any additional questions, Kim? Rita?
No. He answered everything. No, we don't have any other questions. This has been great.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure.
My pleasure.
So you gonna have final words? Final words for our audience?
Thank you again for joining us. The Clayton County Library System's Coffee with the Librarian. These interview sessions are just so dynamic and just filled with so much information for the community. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned for next month. We will have another exciting guest, and thank you again for tuning in with Coffee with the Librarian. Thank you.
You're welcome.